Well, this is exciting. This is Goodwood 2017 and the beginning of the revival meeting. I'm looking forward to it. It's my first race of the year. In fact, I haven't raced since this time last year in the Kinrara Trophy. But it's about taking part. It's not, I have no aspirations to do well or do badly, just to enjoy the occasion. It's always a good feeling if you do better than you started off, there's no doubt about that. But it's really, for me, it's about being part of it all. There is very stiff competition in the Kinrara Trophy actually, with some very good drivers, some very quick cars. And I'm here to race my E-Type. It's a 1963 car, it's so therefore pre-63 specification. It's all steel, there's no aluminium in the body shell. So it's really as the very early cars were and raced. And that is to say, it's a standard car. It was originally registered in the US, in California, and someone I know in the Midlands re-imported it about 15 years ago with a view primarily to race it in these sorts of occasions. It's fully road legal, it's MOT'd and taxed, and I drive it on the road. I haven't driven it here on this occasion. It's been brought down by Gary Pearson of Pearson's Engineering, who've been looking after it for me. I'm racing it here this weekend with Gary, who's a very accomplished driver, as well as being an extremely good mechanic and so knowledgeable about all things Jaguar. So it's an honour for me actually to be racing with him. It'll be interesting from my point of view because I think I'm in for a bit of a reality check. Gary is going to drive this as it can possibly be driven, and I probably won't be doing that. So it'll be interesting to see the difference in lap time between him and I expect it to be substantial. That's fine. I'm fine with that, no problem at all. So these are all the 250 short wheelbase cars. There's a GTO there. They're all in Kinrara, so I'm going to be racing against all these cars, which are, you know, gorgeous cars and quick as well. 3 litre V12. They slightly predate the E-Type, but for me they are an absolutely classic design, and I have to say one of my favourite looking cars. Of course, the GTO. I think it's really important to remember where some of these cars came from before they got modified. I mean, I love the modified cars and they obviously have a place in history, and I wouldn't mind having one as well, but budget constraints ensure that I have one of these, and that's great with me as well. I'm privileged to be able to drive a car like this and race it, and just to be part of this occasion is fantastic. I mean, Lord March puts on the most incredible event. The quality of the entry is second to none. Just the most extraordinary event. Anyway, conditions could be better. It's the forecast is pretty wet, very grey skies. The flags are fluttering in the breeze, but we'll see how that goes. The wipers work, and there are 3 of them, so I'm sure we'll be fine. So welcome to the Richmond Rowing Club. This is the drivers' hospitality area where we sign on, and we have meals provided for us here. There are also changing rooms in here as well for us to get changed, which leads to a slightly surreal experience when you find yourself changing overalls into an ex-Formula One driver or a sports car legend or an Isle of Man TT winner. But that's all part of the fun of this. So we're in the Drivers Club, the Rolex Drivers Club, and as you can see, the attention to detail is superb. We're in, effectively, we're in the Duke's sitting room, lounge, study, and you've bookshelves. There's a set of golf clubs here, period clubs, comfy armchairs, and a trunk, and beautiful period lighting. And even a fireplace. I'm not sure if that works. If it gets cold later on. We'll go and find out. Okay, now. Morning. So the race is over, Kinrara Trophy 2017. It was an amazing experience. I voted to let Gary go first because the conditions were really treacherous. It had been chucking it down all afternoon, and just before we were due to go out, it was so wet they cancelled the session before us. So I decided that it would be sensible and prudent to let Gary go out first and dry the track out for me. And then I'd step in, take over and win the race. Didn't quite work out that way, but Gary did brilliantly. He went from having qualified the car 20th out of 29, got it up to 10th, which was brilliant. So I took it over after 20 minutes in 10th place, and I only lost 4 places, which I think is pretty good because they were quick cars and very good drivers, and I was never going to keep those guys behind me. But luckily Gary had worked up enough of a lead that that's all I lost. It was incredibly slippery. It was a skating rink out there, but and it's a track that commands a lot of respect because of that. But it was amazing fun. It started to get very dark at the end. We started at 6:45 and finished, I think, probably about 7:30, something like that, and it really was getting pretty dark. Luckily, I saw the checkered flag, and that was that. I mean, it has been the most incredible experience. It's been brilliant driving my own E-Type, doing with it what I hoped I would do when I built it in the first place. It's all a bit of a dream come true, and the whole experience is just incredible. So I've got the finishing sheets here. Here we go. 14th, Pearson Quinn, Jaguar E-Type, fixed head coupe, number 41. and a fastest lap of 1:55 in very slippery conditions. On lap 8, that was obviously Gary. I will probably monitor the times, analyse the times when I get back home. I expect there to be a big difference. But anyway, the whole thing has been brilliant, brilliant fun. And I hope I get invited back next year as well. Okay, signing off. Bye.